Hey, all right, I'm just gonna start out by telling you guys I don't want to be doing this video or live. It's gonna be controversial. It's a subject that I've been avoiding because it's controversial, but I have enough people asking. I probably had 5 or 6 people ask me in the last week alone that I need to just answer it. So here we go. It's about calibration. So I have a lot of people asking what I use to calibrate my monitor, if I calibrate my monitor. And again, don't want to answer because I know my answer is going to be controversial, but I'm going to. I'm going to always be real with you guys. I'm an open book. So, but before I tell you what I do, I'm going to read to you folks what the definition of calibration is, because I never know who's watching this and I never want to assume that everybody knows what I'm talking about. So calibration is, I downloaded a definition from the internet. Calibration is adjusting the color balance and light intensity of a computer screen or your monitor, your external monitor, whatever you're using, to ensure that it reproduces a range of colors in a way perceptually identical to a standard color chart. Perfectly clear, right? So that just means you're adjusting the color and the light on your screen so that supposedly when you calibrate a monitor, what you're seeing on your screen is what you're gonna see if you print those images, or it's the same every time, or yada yada. I would encourage you, if you don't understand calibration, because I'm not doing a very good job of explaining it, that you look it up. There are tons of articles, tons of blog posts written about it, so you won't have any trouble finding, opinions about it. So, and the other caveat I'm going to give is, I am speaking as an editor, not a photographer. So this answer may be different for photographers. I will say though, I would have given the same answer when I was a photographer. And so with that, I'm just gonna tell you, I don't calibrate my monitor. One of the benefits of doing what I do, being a professional photo editor, is I can work from anywhere, literally anywhere in the world. I have edited sitting on a beach. I've edited sitting on a lake. I've edited in the car, on a plane, at home, many different places in my home, at our cabin, many different places in our cabin, out on the deck, inside. So calibration for me would be kind of a moot point, in my opinion. And this is why, because every single time I'm editing someplace different, my screen's gonna look different, regardless of whether or not I've calibrated. Because it has to do with the light that's around me. It has to do with the time of day. It has to do with the color casts that are being put onto your screen by colors around you. So for instance, if I'm editing on an airplane and I'm sitting on those lovely blue chairs they all have, and there's blue chairs behind me and I've got my screen in front of me, it's casting, whether or not I know it, it is casting kind of a blue color cast onto my screen. So even if I color calibrated my screen, if I'm looking at my screen to ensure that the colors I'm seeing are the colors I want, when I look at that same image someplace else on a different screen, or I print it and there is no blue color cast, it's going to look different. So I really don't think color calibration serves us. I don't feel like it's very reliable. And then the other reason I'm not a huge fan of color calibration is because every single screen looks different. I can't tell you the number of times I've edited an image. This happened to me a lot as a photographer. I would think it was just perfect. And oh my goodness, it's just perfect. I wouldn't do another thing. It's exactly how I want it. And then I would see it on my husband's screen or one of my kids' phones. And kids, I'm old, I have my brightness way up. Kids have their brightness way down. And I'd look at it on a different screen or someone else's phone and I would think, oh, I do not like the way that looks. So even if I had color calibrated and made it look perfect on my screen, I probably wouldn't have loved it on another screen. So I just don't see that there's a huge advantage to color calibrating our monitors. Quite often they don't last. You have to keep redoing it. So I just haven't found it helpful. And I will tell you, in my 8 years as a photographer, and my almost 6 years now as a photo editor, I've never once color calibrated a screen. I have printed images to make sure that I'm loving the way they look in print so that I know I'm loving the colors that I'm seeing on my screen, but I've never color calibrated. So in my opinion, it's not necessary, but I do have a workflow that I think makes it possible for me to get super consistent, cohesive galleries. I mean, thousands and thousands of images a week, and I can trust that I'm gonna love the way they look because of what I do. So instead of color calibrating my monitors, I use a reference collage. And so I've talked about this before. You can get it's free. It's from Amy and Troy Grover. They created Noble Presets. They give it free, give it away. Just go to Noble Presets and search around and try to find it. I don't know that they call it a reference collage. That's what I call it. They might call it a reference board. But I found this years ago and it was a light bulb moment for me because I did struggle with the whole calibration and I knew things were gonna look different depending on where I edited them, or I would edit something at night. And then when I got up in the morning and there was morning light in the office, I didn't like my edit anymore. And so I knew there had to be a better way. So when Amy Grover gave out this free reference board and she does a little video about it, it was a light bulb moment for me. And I thought, oh my word. So what you do is you create a reference collage that you know that you love. You've looked at it on every screen. You've looked at it on your phone. You've maybe even printed it to make sure that you love the way it looks in print. Once you have your dream reference board, reference collage, if you edit in reference mode, so side by side, and you're making sure that the images you're editing match your reference collage, then you know it's perfect. So even if it looks a little blue to you because you're editing in an airplane and you're getting that blue color cast from all the blue seats, you don't have to worry about what it looks like on your screen because the reference collage and the image that you're editing match so that you know it's perfect. So that's what I do. I don't color calibrate. I use reference collages, and I'm telling you, it works. I know this is controversial. I know I'm going to get messages about this because there are so many people out there that think color calibration is the thing and you need to do it and you're crazy not to do it. I just haven't found it necessary to get beautiful color, to get cohesive, consistent galleries. I really do feel like you're better off forgetting about color calibration or doing it if it makes you feel better, but then learning to edit in reference mode. I promise you, it will make a world of difference in your images. As always, I'm an open book. If you have any other questions, DM me. You can email me. Just reach out and I will do my best to answer your questions.